pontificating the win.
At the next stop sign, turn left.
Don't question me for dunking it. You guys gave up. We're not giving up. We're taking it. They just took the series from Lakers.
If you're not going to be, you have sportsmanship, why shouldn't he take advantage of it?
Yeah.
He's on his stage right now. Come on, give him credit.
Yeah, and it's fun to watch all this, but in the end, it's probably going to be Brooklyn that wins with 3 rounds.
Justin from Canada on Twitter says, I checked last night. The Mavs are the only team left in the NBA.
At the stop sign, turn left onto West Chicago.
Since 1985. I don't know much before that. Teams that have won: Boston, LA, Detroit, Chicago, Miami, San Antonio, Golden State, Cleveland, and Dallas. And Dallas is the only one left. 248-539-9797. Ted on a cell. Hi, Ted.
Go past this light. Then at the next one, turn right.
Good. How are you, Ted?
Not too bad. So, going into the chip story, and back out in November.
At the light, turn right onto Telegraph Road. Then make a U-turn.
In 1995, month after graduating high school. And we got to the point where we start doing the field work to go out and do these patrols and whatnot. So they give you MREs for the first time. And inside the MREs, you get some little treat that's inside there. But
At the stop sign, make a U-turn.
Stop it for a sec. What are MREs? Meal ready to eat.
MREs are meals ready to eat.
Okay.
So have you ever seen them? They're in a package sometimes. Mostly now if you go to like some sort of outdoor store, doesn't matter if it's like a Fish and Wildlife or like a Cabela's, you'll see an area where they have this package.
Dehydrated food.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Hydrated like food, and you can heat these things up. Well, back then they're pretty poor. Now they've stepped the game up. They've got all types of stuff now, like lasagna and like ravioli and all types of good stuff. Back then it was like omelet, but and it was terrible stuff. But you had to take whatever fruit was in there, if the fruit was in there, like cookie roll or something, or a small bag of M&Ms, like on-site, you had to give it to the drill instructor.
In 8.8 miles, take a slight right turn to merge onto M10 North toward I-696 West.
Of the 1988 Olympics.
What year was this?
I went to boot camp in 95 and the M&Ms from the 88 Olympics.
Wow.
If they were regular M&Ms, I think they'd hold up. I'd probably eat an M&M that was 7 years old. I don't know if a peanut M&M you might be a little iffy on.
Well, you're about to eat one of these 20-year-old chips.
That's not going to happen.
But I just had to call in and give the story about that one. And real quick, I wanted to call a couple weeks ago. I was actually in Kansas City when Miggy hit that grand slam when he was down 3-2.
Yeah.
And these obnoxious Kansas City fans behind me, like, oh, he's washed up, he can't even see the ball. And I'm leaning forward, the only Tiger fan near going, please let us just crash that grand slam. And it was a beautiful day for us. That's all I'm saying. So thanks for listening, you guys. Hope you enjoy the weekend.
Thank you for your service, Ted.
Stay in the left
248-539-9797. Sam is in Dearborn and next. Hi, Sam.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Yes, sir.
Good. So I'm listening to this NBA playoff talk, and I think I was built to hear that Kevin Durant is still in the league, and in my opinion, by far the best player in the league now. And as long as they're not put together, with Harden and Kyrie, I don't think anyone's doing that. So there's no way that goes down from LeBron for all these young guys.
You can in the West, maybe. I mean, you're presuming victory, which might be a safe presumption, but that's one of the reasons why I'll probably root against introduction. Messing with that guy?
What the hell is that?
He's like, looks like Darth Maul.
Or is that the wrestler? Is that the Finn Balor thing in wrestling? I don't know. I haven't looked for it.
Neither, but considering that his most recent tweet prior to this was Urban Meyer was at the AEW. AEW still know nothing. It might be a wrestling guy. So
Are you finally seeing the Urban Meyer highlight?
I'm watching it right now, yeah.
It's really strong. Throwing a football to Chris Jericho as he launches it at MJF.
Yeah. On the laptop.
The laptop. Urban Meyer hands on the laptop. He goes and smashes him with the laptop twice.
248-539-9797. All right, so that guy mentioned gambling. Did you hear the story about this guy, Benjamin Patz, who's known as Parlay Patz? And I think we briefly mentioned this, that he had been arrested after sending threats to Tampa Bay Ray players over lost bets. Well, he was sentenced to 36 months probation, according to David Payne Purdom, an ESPN gambling writer. He's 24 years old. He's prohibited from gambling and must participate in a mental health treatment program. So, every once in a while, we'll be talking about some topic, and it doesn't even really matter what the topic is, and we will get a text from someone or a tweet from someone that says, guys, this is all over gambling. Like, we haven't thought about that gambling might be impacting how a fan base is acting or what somebody says on social media. And this guy sent threatening texts to Major League Baseball players, got arrested, and is now put on 36 months probation. I don't know if that's enough. Maybe it should be more. But that's one of the things about sports gambling that's more than a little bit concerning. That's one. Two is, did you see this Russian tennis player was arrested for match fixing?
Female tennis player, right?
Yes. And she's at the French Open, and she was just arrested. And the story reads from Yahoo: bookmakers raised concerns, and this is about a match in September, but she's arrested now. Bookmakers raised concerns about suspicious betting activity, specifically around the fifth game of a second set, in which this Sizakova's serve was broken to love when she twice double faulted. Allegedly, hundreds of thousands of euros were wagered on that break of serve. Is this going to be our new normal?
Well, here's the thing. With things like this coming out, and if they're able to discover it, then maybe it sends a message to the rest of the sports world and the gambling world. Don't do it, because everybody's watching. Everyone's watching.
It's not going to stop it, though. We all know this.
It probably won't.
Everyone's looking for an edge, no matter what.
Yeah, but and look, it's been there before gambling was legal.
Yeah.
So
Now that it's legal,
if they can, I would love to hear about more busts of this happening, uncovering these things. But
and by the way, to that Parlay Pat guy or whatever, that guy's a piece of work, man. I mean, he's the type of guy. Who was the Ohio State player this year that released his tweets? Like, people were giving him death threats and all stuff because he had missed the.
Yeah.
He's that type of guy who gets on a keyboard and goes after players and threatens them. I mean, real threats too, not like just.
Right. I mean, that should be treated as like there's verbal assault.
Yeah. There's
It's the same
harassment,
thing.
assault. Yeah.
EJ Liddell?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like this is that type of guy, and he does it all the time. And finally, it's enough, man. You've crossed the line.
I wonder,
because of gambling.
We're not heavy gamblers here. I'm paying attention. Occasionally a shekel here or there. Not much at all. Yet, if I ever would lose a bet, if it ever happens, Gator, I'm not blaming anybody in the game.
Blame yourself.
It's this guy's fault. It's my fault.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go after somebody else.
Not Frank Wycheck's fault, right?
Wow, that hurt.
That's a great
Too
pull
soon?
by you. No, it's a great pull by you.
Too soon?
Because I lost a fantasy football game over a Frank Wycheck holding call, and then Frank Wycheck played, it was like 20. So maybe that speaks to, at my age, my advanced age, that I wouldn't do this anymore. But I did get mad at Frank Wycheck.
We all
Frank
do.
effing Wycheck.
Yeah, we all have a guy.
And yet, not to the point where I would ever reach out and threaten Frank Wycheck.
Now you might have asked him to like fix the next game or something, but that's not threat.
That's just a proper response.
Yeah, help brother out.
I don't know, man. Look, maybe we're hearing about this more because there's always been gambling. It just was a seedy underbelly, but now.
Well, we just got this text from an unnamed texter. I think it's like drug smuggling. You hear about the big busts all the time, but how many actually get through with no problem?
Yeah, maybe.
248-539-9797, 97.1 the ticket.
Are you considering pawning or selling something to get some extra cash, but you're not quite sure how to do it? Well, American Jewelry and Loan, they just made it easier for you because now you can book an appointment to pawn or sell at any of their 5 Metro Detroit locations. Simply schedule your appointment online by visiting the website at pawndetroit.com and selecting Book an Appointment. You'll select the location, the day, and time that's most convenient for you. It's just that easy. And then when you arrive for your appointment, you'll meet with a sales loan associate who's going to help you through the entire process, answering all the questions you have along the way. It's just another reason why American Jewelry and Loan is the best place to get extra cash. It's not just about getting that loan. It's about buying stuff. It's about selling stuff. And over at American Jewelry and Loan, once you check out the showroom, you're not going to believe it. And the merchandise is fantastic. They've got a ton of high-end jewelry and watches and handbags, electronics. You need some lawn equipment, they've got that. Perhaps you want to peruse the guitar selection, they've got those. It's really a fun place to check out, and everybody who works there, they've got stories for days. You're going to want to talk to them, whether it's Les or Seth or any of the staff over at American Jewelry and Loan. They are awesome. Check them out online at pawndetroit.com.
Hi, this is Bill.
And I'm Tim from Southfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
We have a great selection of pre-owned inventory in stock right now with over 200 vehicles to choose from. All vehicles certified, warranted, and available today, starting from $5,000 to $50,000. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, and if you have a trade, we are paying top dollar. Now is the time.
So wherever you live, Orchard Lake, Novi, Birmingham, or Brighton, you're just a short drive away from the best car buying experience you will ever have. And remember, all roads and all towns take Southfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram at 11.5 intelligence.
Microban 24 protects against Staphylococcus aureus and Enterobacter aerogenes bacteria, but does not provide 24-hour protection against viruses. Every time you touch a surface, you leave behind bacteria. Use Microban 24 sanitizing spray to keep surfaces sanitized all day. Spray on hard surfaces to kill 99.9% of bacteria and viruses initially, including the virus that causes COVID-19. Microban 24 keeps killing bacteria for 24 hours, touch after touch. When used as directed, Microban 24, touch after touch, it doesn't Stay give in the up. left
Introducing
lanes.
in-person payments from PayPal, a touch-free way for your customers to pay and tip. Whether you're a hot dog vendor,
Mustard? You gotta have the mustard.
a personal trainer, don't you drop the knee, Sandra, or a boba shop.
Rude to early perfection.
Signing up your business is easy. Simply download the PayPal app and display your own unique QR code for your customers to scan, pay, and tip too. Shop safe with touch-free QR code payments. Fees may apply. For more info, go to paypal.com/us/getQRcode.
As a dentist, I know what my patients are saying. She says her gums are irritating. Is there anything you can do? You can try new Crest Advanced Gum Restore. It detoxifies below the gum line to restore your gums back to health in just 7 days. You can win tickets to see the Tigers play the Toronto Blue Jays Friday, August 27th. Sign up to win when you check out the special and scan the QR code at McShane's Irish Pub in Detroit. Must be 21 or older. Details at 971theticket.com.
This hour of Instant Feedback brought to you by Mike McClure of National Benefit Plan. For affordable life insurance, log on to nbthealth.com.
97.1 The Ticket would like to remind you that when you text the ticket, standard text messaging rates apply.
Stay in the second lane from right. Use the right lane to take a slight right turn to merge onto M10 North toward I-696 West.
Open lines 248-539-9797. prevalent this is going to be, how many stories like this we're going to hear. The Parlay Pats guy, a 24-year-old, is sentenced to 36 months probation, pleading guilty to sending threats to Tampa Bay Rays players
Stay in the right
over gambling laws. We got a Russian tennis player fix matches. Now, to be fair, we've just had legal gambling in the United States in the last year, but overseas it's been legal forever. So, a foreign tennis player fixing a tennis match, or at least accused of fixing a tennis match, that probably has been going on for a long time. But do you find that with gambling, are you ever more suspicious of results? Last year, you gotten suspicious of a result?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, betting on like football games and you see ridiculous beats at the end of the game. There are bad beats every week. It's a bit to what Scott Van Pelt does. But it happens every week, and you can't help but think that.
I haven't thought it. Kang, have you thought it in the last year? Have you been suspicious of results because of gambling?
I haven't bet enough to really, every now and then I'll throw in, but I haven't bet enough to be that invested and question a call or a play. And I'm sure the people that do, they have a lot to question. I think you're pretty much a kind of the word I'm looking for. You don't question a ton of things, right, Doug?
I don't believe in conspiracies at all.
Mm-hmm. But you do. This isn't necessarily a conspiracy. You do believe. I mean, you just read a couple stories about what's going on in the gambling world. I mean, you believe this stuff can happen, right? I mean, like the Russian tennis player.
Yeah, I do believe it can happen. It just hasn't crossed my mind once in watching a game in the last year. Was that fixed? I never have asked that question, and maybe I should.
I know a few people that think, when we're talking about Jake Paul or Logan Paul earlier, Mayweather, that think Ben Askren took a dive in the Jake Paul fight. There's no way he said that. He's like, yeah, I can take a punch from this guy. I've been in MMA fights with way smaller gloves. That's fine.
Well, that's not an event I watched, so I can't say that.
But the Mayweather-McGregor fight, there was a lot of fishiness there, right? Because Floyd was trying to place a giant bet on a certain round. Wasn't that the story back then?
Money's on the line. You can question anything.
Yeah.
248-539-9797. Should we be questioning results?
1.4 miles. Turn left onto West 14 Mile Road.
Are we dumb for not doing this?
I think the money's gotten so big in some of these leagues that it's hard to, like the NBA, for example. You think LeBron James, right, would ever take a dive? No, he makes way too much money.
No, I don't.
It's the other guys, right? But even then, they're still making tons of money.
Yeah, those guys are making some money. It's hard to believe that would happen, but you go to the college ranks and you think,
that's different.
That's where it could be right.
Well, do you remember when, like, people who believe that football games are fixed? We got into this, the NBA with Tim Donaghy, and here we've got, people believing that the NBA playoffs were fixed, and that it went to the top. It went to David Stern, and we started looking up David Stern's salary, and we were thinking that exact thought. This guy is running a billion-dollar industry. He's making multi-millions. Sure, greed can drive you, but is David Stern really going to risk, not only is it worth risking to make even millions more, but also going to prison? Like, I never bought that it was all, run by David Stern. But 248-539-9797. Stacy in Commerce, you're on 97.1. Hi, Stacy.
Good afternoon, man. How are you?
All right.
Good. Hey, last November I was watching something. It was a program, and when you go to bed, you think your team is going to win, and then lo and behold, the next morning they lose. I woke up next morning going, how in the hell did Biden win?
We're not doing that.
Funny, though.
Oh, we're not doing that. Not going there.
Not a sporting event.
No.
But when you can bet on something nowadays.
248-539-9797.
Turn left.
Ticket text to the same number. Have you never got mad at an athlete over a bet?
I'm sure I have. Yeah. I'm sure I have, but not
to the point where
not
you
to
reach
the
out
point
to
where I
them.
actually legitimately think that they deliberately did what they did.
Should Parlay Pats be in jail?
To what extent? What did he do? I mean, what's the
Have to find his
how far
actual-
did it go? He was tweeting at these athletes.
I think it was tweets.
I mean, it depends what kind of threats there
At
were
the
out
stop
there.
sign,
I
turn
will
left
sever
onto
your
West
neck.
14 Mile Road.
What?
I
Then
will
turn
sever
right
your neck
onto
open,
Inkster
you
Road.
pathetic sea bag.
Yeah, I think you should do some jail time. You threaten somebody's life.
I will enter your home while you are asleep.
Oh, these are separate ones?
I'm just reading this from a story. He sent threats to at least 4 Tampa Bay players after their game with the Chicago White Sox. Some of the messages sent via Instagram, including the following eye-openers.
At the light,
I will
turn
sever your
right
neck,
onto
you
Inkster
pathetic
Road.
sea bag. I will enter your home while you sleep and sever your neck open. I will kill your entire family.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You can stop reading now. I don't want to hear any more of that. But I think what they punished him with is a lifetime ban of
1.9
gambling, and he
miles.
has to go
Arrive at Inkster
to
Road.
mental illness evaluation, correct?
Yep.
If they determine that he is not mentally ill, yeah, I think he should serve jail time. I mean, those are ridiculous threats.
Yeah.
There should be a consequence to it.
I'm concerned that probation isn't enough to discourage others from this kind of stuff.
But today it seems like they're not putting people away for stuff like that. So,
Oh, that's awful. That is absolutely awful. 248-539-9797. Yeah, probation. I'm actually getting mad.
Yeah, I told you that guy's a piece of crap, man.
yeah, that's not a good person.
I mean, he was doing all this stuff on a keyboard thinking, so what, right? I'm pissed off because I lost money. I'm going to threaten these guys' lives, whether he was actually going to do anything or not. You know, you can't take that stuff lightly, especially if you're on the other end of it. He's going to enter my home.
I mean,
He's
that-
gonna-
you're talking, I mean,
I'm going to follow you to the grocery
murder,
store.
home
or whatever.
invasion,
Yeah.
all that stuff. That's ridiculous.
Speak for yourself, Doug. Bryson DeChambeau cost me a lot of money. I no longer like him. That's from Tom in a car. See, I would not, if I put a bet on Bryson DeChambeau and he lost or choked or missed a putt or whatever, my first thought wouldn't be to dislike Bryson DeChambeau for that. I dislike him for other
In 1
reasons.
mile,
I'm mad at
arrive
myself.
at Inkster Road.
Well,
No, you can be mad at a
a
guy.
guy for you can be mad at somebody for dropping a pass
Sure.
or for throwing an interception. There's nothing wrong
Turning
with
over
being
the
mad
ball,
at him.
yeah.
Just don't take it to the next
Well,
level.
I mean, I guess, but it ultimately goes back to I shouldn't have made the bet. That's where the culpability lies.
As
Well,
a kid,
obviously, but
as a kid, I still hold the grudge against Jackie Smith for dropping the touchdown pass Roger Staubach threw in the Super Bowl 12
Yeah, but not to the extent where you're threatening anybody.
or Super Bowl 13. No, I'm not threatening him, but I mean, you can hold a grudge against an athlete. I can certainly hold a grudge.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess holding a grudge is different. I mean, I'm talking about crossing that line and threatening somebody. Been doing parlays for 25 years, but when you are out threatening people because of bets you made, it means you do have mental issues. We've seen so many of this. We see so much of this in the country. We have issues. That's from an unnamed texter. It's Carson Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket.
There has never been a better time to find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Right now, new customers have a chance to win $100 in free bets when they place a $1 moneyline wager on any NBA playoff game. If either team hits a three-pointer in the game, you'll win $100 regardless of your bet's outcome. Just use bonus code GATOR100 when you make your first bet to take advantage of this offer. Get ready to turn the playoffs into payoffs. Sign up now and discover BetMGM's boosted odds specials, daily promotions, and much more. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use bonus code GATOR100 to win $100 in free bets if a three-pointer is made in any NBA playoff game. It's always showtime at BetMGM. New customer offer, paid in free bets, must be 21 years or older, Michigan only. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. This excludes Michigan disassociated persons.
Get a competitive edge. Become a certified lead abatement specialist. You'll help protect Michigan families and get more construction jobs. Learn how to get the training and get certified at michigan.gov/lead workforce.
This is Damon Amendolara.
with an Odyssey Sports Minute. I'm one that applauds outside-the-box thinking. Let's break some conventions around here and make an omelet. So head coaches that think outside the box aren't beholden to the way it's always been for 100 years. Hey, you got a supporter in me. But Dan Campbell, give me a break. Yesterday, he arrived at his press conference wearing a racing helmet because he's the Grand Marshal at the Detroit Grand Prix. This completes his descent into Rex Ryan. Without the defensive acumen, of course. Dan Campbell can't run an offense, can't run a defense, but can play the goofball. And while the Lions could use some levity, you also need to be a pretty amazing head coach to change that franchise. And we really have no evidence that Dan Campbell's that. Goofballs don't win Super Bowls. This is David of Ed DeLong.
Hey everybody, Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage and Rocket Companies. Last year we saw historically low mortgage interest rates. In fact, over 1 million homeowners took advantage of refinancing or buying a new home with Rocket Mortgage. What you may not know is that interest rates are already starting to increase again, and it's likely that trend is only going to continue. Our team of experts is standing by to help you save before rates go up. With an official mortgage review from Rocket Mortgage, you'll see just how much money you could save by making a move right now. Don't look back over these next few weeks and wish that you had taken action. You could save hundreds on your mortgage payments or pay off your home loan earlier than planned. You could even take cash out of your home to pay off high interest debt, complete home repairs, or bulk up on an emergency fund. When you want to secure a low rate, Rocket can. Call 833-8ROCKET or visit rocketmortgage.com.
Rocket. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states and NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
Don't miss the Slim Summer Sale at Ideal U. Ideal U Health Center will help you lose up to 40 pounds in 40 days. The weather is already warming up. This is your chance to look great this entire summer. Go to idealu.us and book your free consultation. You'll receive a free body composition analysis and $200 in free groceries when you sign up for the program. Ideal U helps you lose weight the healthy way and fast. Memorial Day will be here before you know it. Start today and you'll be excited to bust out the tank top and shorts all summer long. Lose up to 40 pounds in 40 days with Ideal U. It's the Slim Summer Sale. Book your free consultation today at idealu.us and you'll receive a free body composition analysis and $200 in free groceries when you sign up for the program. That's idealu.us. Results may vary based on physical health and adherence to the program. No weight loss or health guarantees are provided or implied.
Hey, Tigers fans, let's pack the park. Buy one ticket and get one free for Welcome Back Weekend, June 11th through the 13th, when the Tigers host the White Sox at Comerica Park. Act fast. This exclusive 72-hour flash sale ends this Monday at 10 a.m. Go to tigers.com/welcomeback.
Better bets, bet smarter, and beat the books today. Download the BetQL app today to better your chances.
upset at players that cost you? I mean, sure, but not to the point of reaching out to them, and certainly not doing what Parlay Pats did. This guy who made over 1 million betting parlays and a huge social media presence, but then he went out and started threatening players and really threatening their lives and their families and threatening home entry. So he gets arrested and he gets 36 months probation, which doesn't feel like enough considering we read some of those tweets and they were awful and over the top. And yet, Gator, sure, we hold grudges, but I think even we would know that these are sort of irrational types of grudges, but nothing like what he did.
No, that's a sick mind is what that is. And this was one of my concerns when we would talk about having the kiosk at Little Caesars Arena. And I said, I'm not really comfortable having the gambling right there on site at the arena or the stadium. And one of the reasons I cited was because you can get some crazy fan who's bet on the game and all of a sudden things are going his way, and I'm concerned how they're going to react. It doesn't make any difference now because whether it is a kiosk at the stadium, it doesn't matter because you've got all the apps on your phone. it's still a concern to see how fans are going to react when things don't go well. And it is something that they're going to have to watch moving forward. I think they need to pay more attention, and you have to prosecute and litigate things like this when they come up and they clearly cross a line.
Well, it's a new sports world, right, with the gambling added. Yeah. And I stories like this, I don't know how prevalent they're going to be, how much we're going to hear about it. Hopefully not much, but from an unnamed texter, I'm really curious to see how, quote, irregular gambling activity is determined. Can't someone just say, oh, I just wanted to make that bet, I had a feeling? And it could. I think even if you were, you're going to get questioned if there's a huge amount put on a team or a player, and it pays off and surprises everybody. Long odds get paid. There might be people asking questions. Admin Brighton says match fixing is unfortunately a problem in tennis because there are no contracts. You only get paid if you win. Sure, the top players get paid lots of prize money and sponsorship, but anyone outside the top 100 is struggling to pay for travel and coaches. There's a huge disparity of money in tennis. So unfortunately, some random player ranked 250th in the world will be very tempted to fix a match and make a quick buck. From an unnamed texter, I don't believe players are involved with a fixed match, but definitely the refs or umpires. Just look at some of the calls in the NFL. Well, they aren't making millions. They aren't.
No, they're not, but they're also well compensated, and they also have second jobs that continue to make them well compensated. I mean, there's no reason for the officials to cry poor, but I also don't. Do I think it's happened in the past? Yeah. Am I ultra suspicious that somebody's been paid off? Not really. I know there have been calls that clearly have gone against the Lions' way. There have been lots of things that you're like shaking your head, like how do you possibly do that? But in a game where there are a lot of subjective penalties to be called, it's hard to know. I mean, it's hard to prove one way or the other, unless you've got bank accounts and you see deposits made.
Would fans be more, I guess, willing to see like a robotic umpire or computer systems? No, because if you're going to use humans, there's a human element. They're going to miss calls. And we're going to question every call because of gambling and things like that. Now, the fact that gambling's legal basically everywhere in the U.S., sports gambling, do you take that out by just saying, hey, well, we're going computer? I know then people are going to start saying that, like, spyware or whatever, with, it's been hacked or whatnot, but I don't think there's any solution to this, right? Whether it's human refs or a robotic umpire, like I said.
I mean, in professional sports, it's up to the leagues to police themselves and to make it very stringent background checks and let them know that this is a privilege to be a part of this professional sport, whatever it is, and that there is a cost to it. The cost is some of your privacy. We have to do background checks to make sure the integrity of the game is still strong. And whether that means reviews of bank accounts or whatever, I mean, that might be a little bit too invasive, but is it too much of a stretch to think that that's something that can go on or does go on? You get an investigation going with something, that happens big at the end of the game. Like for instance, that playoff game, I don't know, a couple years ago, I believe there was an interference call that wasn't called. No, not that. I was going to do that. I was doing the one in New Orleans. Okay. That wasn't called, and obviously that affected the outcome of the game. I mean, so people are always going to be questioning this, and it feels weird, but fans want the league to be accountable and explain their actions, and sometimes simply saying, "Hey, we're human, we made a mistake," doesn't cut it.
Yeah. Gator, did you see whose 40th birthday was yesterday?
40th birthday was yesterday. I did see this, yes.
So, anybody out there see the movie Superbad? And the answer for me is actually yes. I did see the movie Superbad.
You watched it with Uncle Cracker.
We were flying down to Dallas for a Super Bowl, and I was seated next to him on the flight. I didn't realize it until later. I was watching Superbad on my laptop, and he was leaning over, kind of watching too and laughing. I had the headphones on, so he couldn't hear, but he was still giggling.
Because he knows the movie.
Yes. And in that movie, there's a character named Fogel. And Fogel's job, by the way, is that his...
I don't know if we ever got his first name, and it was just...
Or is his first
they just
name
called him Fogel.
Was he known in that movie as Fogel and just Fogel?
I think so.
Was that his first name, his last name? Because he goes to get a fake ID, and he gets the fake ID, and the name he chose was also one name. McLovin. And it's one of the great scenes in the movie where he shows up with his fake ID that he's from Hawaii, and he's, 23 years old or whatever it is, and his name is McLovin. That's it. But the birthday on the ID is June 3rd, 1981, which means yesterday McLovin turned 40. Gator, it never dawned on me that a one-named character got a one-named fake ID until just now, unless Fogel has a full name.
No,
it's listed as just Fogel on IMDb. And
did everybody know this? And I mean, that he had no last name or first name?
I think it's his last
name.
Yeah.
You do that with your friends in high school.
Yeah.
You always call him. Didn't your friends always call you Karsh?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
But some called me Doug on occasion. So, whereas Gator calls me, and now my kids think it's the most funny thing ever, Douglas.
Well, his name is just Fogel in the movie.
Right, it's just Fogel. Now, the funny thing, so I clicked on IMDb, has the actors, and it says the role they played, it says Fogel, but it's a hyperlink. So I clicked on that, and it goes to something else, and it's got nothing but Fogel quotes from the movie. Mm-hmm. It's you can't read them, because it's just a dialogue from the movie.
But there's no other name.
Just Fogel. Just Fogel.
We accepted that, and then we laughed at McLovin. Hey, he's only got one name, McLovin. And Fogel only had one name. But the birthday is yesterday. Fogel is 40 years old.
Officer Slater.
McLovin is 40 years old.
Officer Slater. Hey, kid, what's your real name? Fogel. It's Fogel. Officer Michaels. Fogel? Blank that. We're calling you McLovin.
So he doesn't even tell the officers his full name.
No, he just said Fogel. Maybe it didn't dawn me until just now. Maybe the ironic thing could be that his name really was Fogel. Of course not. No. Of course not. But he's telling the cops it's Fogel.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, even though they didn't say it in the movie, his character has a first and last name. It's just he went by Fogel the entire time, so we never know what his first name is. Now, pointed out in the movie, of course, is why were you so stupid enough to get a fake ID with one name? What are you, some kind of Irish R&B singer, McLovin? So, I mean, the movie said,
Officer Michael McLovin? Fogel. Yeah. Great name. It is. It just rolls off the tongue. Sounds like a sexy hamburger.
Superbad is very, very, very funny. And Fogel is one of the great characters. Absolute fantastic.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
It just brings a smile to your face when you think about it, right?
Don't you know someone who has the book?
No, somebody gave me, a friend of mine years ago for one of my birthdays, gave me the book of all the drawings. It's
at the end of the movie, there's a sketchbook. What are we at liberty to say here about the sketchbook?
Well, I mean, it's a sketchbook of, different drawings where the focal point of the drawing is, features the male anatomy in interesting situations, like Tiananmen Square. It's the part of your anatomy, and it's in the middle of Tiananmen Square stopping the tanks. Yeah. And then there's various other pictures.
And you've got that sketchbook.
Some have heavier veins than the other one.
Yeah. So McLovin, happy birthday. McLovin turned 40 yesterday. Carson Anderson, 97 won the ticket.
Hey, you've got goals this year, right?
Get a double quarter pounder with cheese with just ketchup and onion.
You want the meal?
Nope, just the sandwich.
Only the sandwich?
Yeah, with just ketchup
Say
and
only?
only ketchup and onion.
Only ketchup and onion. Oh, wait. Okay, anything else?
A Big Mac.
Okay.
And a large Coke.
Anything else?
That's it.
15, 13 first window?
Yep.
15, 13.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.